upbringing. I had people always that took care of me. I had a wonderful family. We grew up going to church in a church environment. I grew up learning the Word of God from my parents, reading my Bible, praying, and from a young age I had a real reverence for the Lord, wanting to please Him, wanting to do what's right. And throughout my childhood and throughout my life, I had this desire to please the Lord and to be pleasing to Him. So anyway, I had a list of do's and don'ts growing up, and that for me was the Christian life, just to live my life within those parameters and have as much fun as I could and achieve as much as I could, and have as many friends and so on. So as I grew up in that environment, it's quite easy to live within those parameters. And in some way, I became quite proud, quite self-righteous, because I had a bit of self-control and could kind of manage my life, and was quite confident in that I could do things well and according to the Word of God, and had a lot of faith in myself. And yet, as I grew older and had more and more freedom, the wheels started to fall off. And I started to see cracks, and I was trying to still shift those parameters and try and fit things in, and all the time still trying to be pleasing to the Lord. But I was failing more and more and more, and starting to do things that I thought I would never do, and starting to let people down, and starting to hurt people, and starting to let myself down. And I was becoming more and more unhappy with the person I was. And as much as I was having a great life, I had a great job, a great girlfriend, great friends, I really didn't like being alone. I couldn't spend time alone. I sometimes couldn't even look in the mirror. There was this guilt, there was this shame, and I knew that somewhere I wasn't living the plan of God for my life. But in other ways, I had the same plans, the same desires, the same ambitions as anybody, but trying to kind of fit a Christian life in there somewhere. And the time came where I just said to the Lord, Lord, please, just let me go now. Leave me to just live my life. I don't want to be a terrible person, but I can't continue like this anymore. And at that time, my brother got out of the blue, gets radically born again. And he starts calling me and telling me about grace and love and the law and all of these things. I had no idea what he was talking about, but I knew he was a new person. And somewhere I wanted that for my life, and I went to his wedding, and it was pure, and it was simple, and it was everything I desired, and yet couldn't have. And, he invited me to this youth camp, and in Zimbabwe, a Christian youth camp, and I was 26 at the time, so I thought, okay, I'm a bit old, but, I'll go. And at that youth camp is where the Lord met me. And, I was listening to maybe a message I'd heard many times in church before, but at this time it spoke to my heart. And it sounds like a Christian cliche, but I just felt that Jesus was saying, I love you as you are, just bring me your life. And, I had been trying in all my strength to reach a level where the Lord might be happy with me and where I might be able to live a good life with Him. But He was wanting me to just surrender my life to Him. And so even though it was a bit embarrassing responding to an altar call, being a lot older and taller than all these little kids, but somewhere I knew it was the Lord's time for me. And He was so faithful, because after that, I really experienced what it is to have a changed heart, to have changed desires, to have freedom. Things that I never thought I'd experience. I thought I was going to live with these desires the rest of my life. But the Lord gave me a new heart, and He can give you a new heart as well.